I told y'all, might be a different view. I really wasn't kidding. Different view it is. We are celebrating our anniversary. 5 years of actually being together, total, and our belated 2 years of being married. Things happened, and we had to postpone some things for our actual anniversary in March, so which was fine. We're here now in our favorite place in the world, Disney. So a little different of a view for the next couple of days. Nice and sunny and warm, and not fluctuating temperatures back home in Virginia. So anyway, we are going to talk about all the fun things that are happening now in the racing world, because Martinsville, whew, we went from, having the short track at Richmond to craziness at Martinsville, which is always beautiful in the mountains. You never know what you're going to get at Martinsville. You literally never know. Except for the fact that you know that somebody's temper is going to get the best of them at some point. It never fails. Literally. Somebody is going to get angry, and we, already use bumpers as it is. We saw it happen in Richmond. We saw it happen again at Martinsville. Just trying to get around the short track package. That is the only way people found so far that they can truly pass in this current package and car. And is find a way, put a bumper to them, and move them around. And that's what we saw a lot of. Kyle Larson, Bubba Wallace, who raced hard at Richmond against each other, brought us to the green flag at Martinsville. They barely, it was extremely, extremely close. Even in qualifying, Bubba was just edged out, actually, in qualifying, and by Kyle Larson to get his second pole at Martinsville in a row. So he was in the pole at Richmond, he was in the pole at Martinsville, and the battles all happened, though, once Kyle Larson took that lead, all behind him. The drivers were, of course, fighting to stay on the lead lap. It was insane. Everything was happening, as always, at Martinsville, because it's so small behind the leader. Once that leader started catching the end of the pack, Kyle had to figure out how to maneuver traffic and get those situations taken care of and maneuver around them as best as he could and as quickly as he could to ensure that he could maintain that overall lead. He would win stage one. We do have, of course, the stage break after he did win stage one, and we had multiple issues We're several weeks in. I would have thought by now we would have gotten those kinks for the most part worked out, but we didn't. Todd Gillen takes equipment out. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. caught speeding. We had contact on pit road. It was a mess. It is a smaller pit road, so I get that too. Of why we have contact on pit road. I get that. It is one of the smaller ones that we do handle throughout the year. Not the smallest, but one of the smaller pit roads. But we do have drivers that did decide to stay out and not pit. One of those, i.e., or if they did pit, they opted for 2 tires. So Joey Logano will bring us back to the green flag. He decided to only get 2 tires in this situation. We are like, how's this gonna work? Are 2 tires the key, or are 4 tires better? No. Joey ends up, getting moved backwards quite a bit later. Because the 2 tire things, it was a good thought, a good play initially, but it got them to the track position that they wanted and got them moved up, which was great. But in the end, it didn't keep them secured in the first place position that they wanted. Ryan Blaney, Austin Dillon make contact after a couple stops were made as well. And this, of course, ends up causing another caution. We see 3 wide racing on this track. I was like, okay, we have definitely not seen a lot of 3 wide racing without an accident on Martinsville track. Hardly ever. I was very surprised at that. But we then see Denny Hamlin make his way up to the front. Yeah, I'm sure he was being booed in the stands too without a problem. But Chase Elliott takes over. It was a very interesting overall race. I'm going to say that. We had multiple drivers, get a lead, take it for a while. Denny Hamlin got the second stage win. And then in the third stage, we have 1, 2, and 3 of Hendricks. We did see Chase run up front for a little while, which got fans in the stands happy and ready to cheer. They were excited because, most popular driver was up front and ready to race for the win. They were super excited. It's been a while since he's been in victory lane. I don't blame him at all. But it just was not his day. He had made some moves to try to get all the way up front and did well. I will not take that away from Chase Elliott. He did well. When it came down to another late caution in this race, and as John Hunter Nemechek has like a rotor explode, and that sends us into overtime. this is what I don't understand. And again, what? I guess, Denny Hamlin's picker says we're going to do whatever the opposite is that Hendrix does. Okay. You were up front. Why did you decide to pit and do the different thing that Hendrix did at the end? You would have started roughly 4th, 5th-ish, somewhere in that ballpark. And at the beginning of the race is usually where you have the best opportunity to make the move, be able to pass, as we saw, cars, and you decide to pit? What? That still blew my mind. I don't know what they are honestly thinking. I get it that he already has a win. Okay. Great, you have a win. But you just blew a chance to possibly get another one by making it a call to pit at the last minute when everybody else stayed out, which pushed you further back. William Byron, Chase Elliott bring us back to the green in overtime. Kyle Larson gets around Chase Elliott to come home second, and Chase Elliott will come home third with William Byron the winner. And it ends up being, Hendrick's 40th anniversary on top of that. And they had, I want to say a million, but it wasn't that, 1,200 plus employees there. Just that they were able to have from between a box and I guess the stands, and they were all able to celebrate this victory, which was fun. They took a picture at the end and just enjoyed the win. Mr. Hendricks and his wife weren't there, as he had just had surgery. I think on his knee or hip, one or the other. So it was one of those emotional wins for them, but it was still a huge moment. Huge moment for all of them. So William Byron has checked another win in his win box for everyone. And I have a feeling there was maybe another strong talking to of why did we do this? We could have possibly ran for the win, but we didn't. I would think that one would haunt. We do still have another Martinsville race at the end of the season. So I guess we'll have to wait and see if they decide to do something different in the fall. NASCAR, as we know, has been quote-unquote working on short track racing for quite some time because since we got this new car, it's not been the same. It really hasn't, and that's the truth. And
Because your car doesn't remember how to put one nut on.
it's not even about the lug nut issue in this case. It does make it a little more difficult to pass. Everybody's one source parts, for the most part, they've made teams equal as possible, which is, I'm not going to say that's a bad thing, because it has allowed smaller teams to be more competitive against the larger teams, such as Hendrix and your Joe Gibbs, which is important. Yeah, my husband's over here like Trackhouse. Yeah, small teams like Trackhouse. I will say, Rick Ware Racing as well, and they with Justin Haley, who has been more competitive. We have seen a little bit more from, I'm not saying extreme more, but a little bit more from Corey LaJoy. So other drivers that are from the smaller teams that don't have the huge backings that necessarily that Hendrix does. And then, Spire Motorsports as well. Just the ones that I can think of right off the top of my head that are smaller. One or two car teams for the most part overall. But as much as I don't like Denny Hamlin on a good day, and I don't hold this back because he,
he's a tool.
I'm not even going to say he's a tool. He just forgot where he came from completely. And when you forget where you come from and those who have helped you along the way get to where you are, people don't forget that ever. He has a good point on his podcast this week about short track racing. If NASCAR does not fix it, we will be in a world of hurt overall. We will. There, you have people that are doing things to bring back short track racing in other ways, like Dale Jr. I'm waiting because I'm sure my husband's going to comment for that. With bringing like the old tracks and his TV shows and things, as well as, getting involved with multiple former drivers and having a series where they work to have more driving for short tracks. They bring cars to short tracks and race them. So they're like, why can't some of our, experienced drivers that like Dale Jr. Be out there testing on some of these short tracks, basically, to figure out, work with NASCAR, figure out this issue, and get it working. Because if not, we're going to be literally in a world of hurt here very soon. And I have to, his passion for moving the sport forward, I have to give him that credit. I do have to give him that credit, where it's due. To have to say he is the most amazing driver ever with the best attitude. No, I don't have to say that. I don't. But I do have to say he does have a passion for the sport and wanting to move it in the right direction. And I think it's really opened his eyes more now that he has a team of what it takes to be an owner and having to have that additional responsibility. So I'll give him his props where props are due, just like I've done with Kyle Busch in the past. And go with that. It's definitely one of those situations where you got to find the right balance. 100%. We are at Texas this weekend. Sam Mayer won the Xfinity, so congratulations to Sam Mayer. And that's an awesome. They had that race under review actually, but ended up after reviewing, Sam Mayer won that race, and it looks like everybody passed inspection, which is even better. But the funny, if you want to say, is that Kyle Larson is on the pole for the third week in a row. Are anybody else seeing a pattern here, or is it just me? I don't know. I feel like I'm seeing a pattern here. This is 3 weeks in a row. We've had Richmond, Martinsville, and now Texas with Kyle Larson on the pole. Literally. We go green today at 3:43 p.m. I am sleep deprived, y'all. Sorry. My flight got delayed on Thursday when I was supposed to be down here really badly. And I've spent all day Saturday pretty much sleeping. So I'm still catching up. The green flag will wave at 3:43. Invocations at 3:24. National Anthem 3:25. We're going 267 laps. It's a 1.5 mile track at Texas. 400.5 miles is what it equates to if we don't get a late race caution, which has been the theme every time the last 2 weeks so far. Stage 1 ends at lap 80. Stage 2, lap 165. If you want to watch it, FS1 today. The race will be starting at 3:30. Pre-race coverage on FS1 at 2, or if you need to listen to it, PRN. They'll start their coverage at 2:30, and then SiriusXM Channel 90 will also have it on with the PRN coverage that way. It's supposed to be about high of 80 with a very little chance of rain, if any. The last time we were at Texas, Bubba Wallace started from the pole and led 111 laps of the 267. Tyler Reddick won stage 2. Kyle Larson led 99 laps and won stage 2, but he crashed on lap 249 while racing Wallace for the lead and finished 31st. This is where the beef between Kyle Larson and Bubba Wallace initially started. and ended up getting Wallace suspended for a race. And that's all, for those who are not Bubba Wallace fans, they were all cheering.
Boo.
For those who like Bubba,
Woohoo.
they were not very happy, but NASCAR did stay consistent with that because they did, bench Chase Elliott for hitting Denny Hamlin. Wallace and Chase Briscoe led the field to green for the final restart. William Byron took advantage of it. Byron led the final 6 laps and scored win 300 for Hendricks. Ross Chastain finished second. Wallace, Christopher Bell, and Denny Hamlin rounded out your top 5. So we have Kyle Larson, Ty Gibbs, Christopher Bell, Tyler Reddick, Chase Briscoe, William Byron, Ryan Blaney, Austin Cindric, Martin Truex Jr., and Bubba Wallace as your top 10. There are a total of 38 cars for today's race, 15 Chevrolets, 14 Fords, and 9 Toyotas. And there are 9 Toyotas because Jimmy Johnson is racing in today's race. And the number 84 for Advent Health Toyota. Just so that everyone is aware. This is Jimmy Johnson's first race of the 2024 season. So, happy Sunday, happy race day. I'm going to head to the park before the race, and I will see you later. Bye, y'all.